Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for stopping by. So, in today's episode 12, as it says in the title, we are going to be looking at the men's patterns that I worked on this week and some unisex. There wasn't a lot of unisex. A lot of the unisex, I don't know. I wouldn't really call it unisex. I'm not sure that these are things that either men would wear or women would wear. There were a couple things, so we'll take a look at those. But as always, let's start with my Goodwill haul this week. So, any of you who saw my little short that I did earlier in the week, you will have seen this fabric, which I still have the price on. Let me give you guys a close up. Whoop. So it was $8.99. It's about 7.5 yards of fabric. Now, when I got it home and I got a closer look, I noticed that it's got moth holes in it, which is a good and bad thing. Good afternoon, Olivia. Which is good and bad thing. I knew it was wool, but now I know it's 100% wool because it's got moth bites in it. It's like 7.5 yards. This was also included. Now this feels like a poly blend. This doesn't feel like wool. This is only 3.5 yards. Is it 3? No, 2 3/4 yards. You can see it's like a chocolate pinstripe. Again, not really my favorite color. And then I saw this. I should have just gotten this. This was a great price. This is probably another 7 yards also. And it was $5.99. This is the nicest. This is a tropical weight wool. So like you can kind of see, you see how you can almost see through it? It is so lovely. And can you see this beautiful color? Kind of oatmealish, not really, more like on the beige kind of thing. Wow. Okay, so for those of you who aren't reading the comments, Olivia went to Salvation Army yesterday and she got 50 yards of blue and green plaid fabric for $10. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of amazing that you can find this kind of fabric just at Goodwill, but I get it. It's because nobody sews anymore, so Goodwill doesn't know what to do with it. Goodwill gets these big bolts of fabric and they're like, I don't know. Like these are absolutely what are called cutoffs. So they are when the tailor has a huge bolt of wool and it gets down to the last couple of yards, if he was a tailor that did men's suits, like this would be enough for either a jacket or trousers, but not both. So you can't make a suit out of this. So, I mean, I know they would hold on to it because you can make a skirt out of that, which is exactly what I'm going to do with that because it's so beautiful. I might try pants, but I told you guys before, comes to pants, wuss, total wuss. So also at Goodwill was this. I'm not going to open it all the way because it's just this same repeating pattern. And it was absolutely someone's art project, and I'll show you how I know that. See that down there? All of that code, and that is indeed computer code, by the way, is this print. I'm thinking that this might be from, it doesn't have a name. No, it doesn't have a company name, but this is the kind of thing that you can get off Spoonflower. Someone may have been able to send them originally a swatch of this, and Spoonflower was able to recreate it. You can also sometimes you can design on some of these websites. So that's what this is. And the interesting thing about this, we've been talking about my recent love of 70s stoneware. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to make a curtain. I have one big window in kind of the back of my apartment. I'm going to make a curtain for this out of that. In fact, I might try my hand at making a Roman shade. Oh, wow. So Olivia is saying that not only did she get 50 yards of this stuff, it was still wrapped. Right. Of course it's still wrapped because somebody didn't know what to do with it. So they put it in a box and sent it to Goodwill. And it was 100% cotton. So congratulations. That's a great find. I also found a whole bolt of fabric. wasn't 50 yards, but it was a whole bolt of fabric at Goodwill, and I got it for like $4.99. Still had the plastic on it. I mean, like, that was a couple years back. That video is around somewhere if you guys want to look for it. All right, so let's talk about my stoneware addiction for just like a split second. Oh, let me show you one other thing I got at Goodwill. You know me, I like to put some kits in the shop. This one's from 1976, I think. I mean, it's super cute. It's even got the needle in there, but the needle to me, I don't know if you guys can see the needle. It looks kind of rusty, but yeah, 1976. It is super cute. You know, I have no idea who Erica Wilson is, but she designed this. And when I went out to like look at comps for this for the Etsy store, there was a lot of stuff by her, and specifically by Columbia Minerva. Again, not a brand that I'm really used to. I used to do needlepoint since I had cancer the first time, and it was bone cancer. My hands, I have a lot of arthritis in my hands. In fact, this week, it was warm this week, but it was very humid, and they were killing me this week. Oh, they were hurting me so bad. But so I got that for the store. Now, okay. So today I went to the antique, I don't want to call it a mall because it's not that big, but it's a store and it has booths and people sell their vintage retro and antique stuff. And there was a woman there that had these. Yeah. Lovely, huh? There were 4 of them. They were $12. I mean, it's kind of pricey. It's like $3 a piece, but I couldn't resist. And that is the name of what they are. And they are by, who are these by? It's by Mikasa. No, but they're made in Japan. So who knows? They could technically be by Mikasa. But yeah, so my love of this is continuing. It's a weird thing to start collecting at my age, right? Because I have dishes, trust me. In fact, I'm actually selling on Facebook Marketplace. Like, hello, Pam, how are you? On Facebook Marketplace, I'm selling my like generic, hello, Evangelina, my generic plates because I have too many plates. So let me tell you, the moniker Cheap Hussy, it goes deep. With me, it's to the bone. I'm not just a Goodwill shopper and a reseller and a sew my own clothes girl. I'm also, I pick art out of the trash girl. All right, so I'm at my supermarket. This is so rude because it's kind of mean. I'm at my supermarket and I see in front of the, here, I'll hold this up while I talk. In front of the like outside bins that they have for, ours is AMVETS, so it's American veterans. I see all this stuff piled up and I never go in the bags. I never look, blah, blah, blah. And I see this and I only see the back of it. And I'm like, huh, because see, here's the back. This is your first sign that the piece is kind of good quality, right? There's the stamp from the person that originally framed it. So I flip it around. I'm like, I kind of like that. I originally thought that it might be a paint by numbers. It is not. It is obviously from some type of a textbook or something because it's got very small writing down here, which I don't even know. I'll put it up to the camera, but I don't know if you guys are really going to be able to see that. Yeah, Olivia said she would have looked. It is lovely, isn't it, Olivia? And to me, this isn't trash. I have a really nice piece that was done by my ex, who is an artist. And I have it, and it's trees. And it's really kind of a stark kind of, I don't know, landscape, right? And I thought this was really beautiful. And so I'm going to actually put them together on the wall so that they kind of complement each other. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's not, for me, it's not just about Goodwill. Yeah, I think it's a French garden too. It's not just Goodwill. It's not just sewing your own clothes. It's also digging through the trash. And trust me, half the furniture in this apartment, I dug out of the trash. I can't believe how much beautiful, authentic, mid-century modern furniture gets thrown away. And sometimes there's literally nothing wrong with it. Like my coffee table. Well, my coffee table I did buy. In my living room, I have, my side table. It was just on the side of the road in front of a house. There's some white paint on it. That's it. In fact, I got the white paint off just by cleaning it. So yeah, not a whole lot. All right, so I did not find anything weird in patterns this week. You know how I always talk about that. We'll talk about this one. This one, unfortunately, is a wounded bird. It's missing some pieces to the top. It's a shame. It's a nice little men's pattern. Here's the back. It was cut. That's missing some pieces. So not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to put it aside for now. This broke my heart. This was cut. The envelope was so bad. It looked like, I mean, I find patterns with insect damage, and I've showed you before rodent damage. I don't know what happened to this envelope. It looked like I got in a fight and lost. So I kept only the directions. I might put this online with the strays for directions, because then also the pattern pieces had gotten really wet and you could really see they were not in good shape at all. So I know I'm very heartbroken by this, Olivia. You have no idea. It's very hard for me to throw a pattern away. Speaking of not throwing a pattern away, found this pattern. It's cut. I looked it up online. It's like, I think the uncut version of this was like $6. Now, it was cut to an extra large. So, oh, and here's the line drawings, guys. So I'm going to keep it, because the extra large is like a 44 to 46 chest. That's me. And I'm thinking I have so much just really basic cotton fabric. I mean, remember a couple hauls ago, I got all that cotton fabric. I definitely have enough to make a shirt like this. All right, so before we get to the rest of the men's patterns, I am really making headway. I have one box that's actually outside airing in the sunny weather. It's very sunny here. That is all the rest of the uncut Butterick. So next week we're going to do Butterick. I'm just going to finish out the Butterick. There's probably maybe 30 of them. I'm not even sure if there's 30. And then I have maybe like 100, maybe, McCall's patterns. All the rest, simplicity, uncut simplicities. And then after that, we're going to start going through the cut patterns. When we get to the cut patterns, what I'm going to do is just decades. I'll do like everything I find from the 40s, everything I find from the 50s, everything I find from the 60s. But before we even get there, I'm going to do children's patterns and craft patterns. So there's a lot going on. It's going to be well into the summer before I get through all this stuff. You watched the documentary about Brooke? I have not watched it yet. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. But one of the patterns I have here that's not a men's pattern is a Brooke pattern. And the reason it's here is because I found it when I was counting through the McCalls. We'll get to that in a minute. So found this. And God bless Mrs. Landers. She never cut this pattern. It's pre-cut, but she never used it. It's still factory folded. I went through it and checked it. Look at those pockets. Yeah, that's a piece that goes over the gored pieces. You can see it on the back. Goes over the gored pieces of the skirt. This is a very easy pattern too. So I'm so excited about this pattern. And then I found this and thought it was uncut, but it wasn't. It was just folded so nicely it felt uncut. The dress has been cut. The whole thing's been cut, basically. I think the only thing that hasn't been cut is this really ruffly sleeve here. They didn't cut that. So there's the line drawings. So I grabbed it. I'm going to put it up online. And then when I was going through the McCalls, I found another kind of prom, not bridal, but prom. Because there we go. Very 1980s prom. In fact, when is this from? Let's see if we can see if I can read the date. I can never read these dates. Oh, 87. Yeah. So, yeah. And then I found another Brooke pattern. And look, culottes. We love a culotte. So, one more Brooke pattern. And then the rest of the McCall's patterns are just there. It seems that the McCall's patterns seem to be all 80s and 90s, a couple late 70s, but really late 70s, like they really looked like 80s. She really liked simplicity. And Butterick, she seemed to only like See and Sew because we know we have a gazillion See and Sew patterns, right? Yeah. So, ready? Let's get to it. Let's start with the first one. This is fragile. That's why it's in plastic. Yes, Vintage Advanced Men's PJs. And that must have been red pen because I can see it looks like it used to be someone's name. And it ran. Over the years, it just ran and ran. It got on the pattern. The pattern itself is cut, but in really good shape. By the way, all these are up online if you want to get closer looks at them, because you know I take the photographs without the plastic. The only thing that's not online is those last 4 women's patterns that we just discussed. I love this one. The guy's face just kills me. It's just hysterical. This one is really old. And then there's these. Okay. All right. These are some dandies here, man. Look at can you imagine? I cannot think of any man I know now who would wear these. So it's the swim trunks. It's and you know at least one of these is terry cloth, right? The terry cloth, right? And then we had another one of these. This one was very fragile. You can see up here, really, the bugs did a job on it. But swim trunks that go almost up to your nipple, because that's how they wore them back then, and a overshirt. And then we had lots of just lovely, just shirts, lots of shirt patterns, and she just never used them. So I don't know if she just bought them for a just in case thing. I love this. Look how dapper this guy is, right? So this is the shirt, and is it the shirt and vest? Yeah, this is the shirt and the vest. And then this is the jacket and the vest. It's funny to me to think that this is a casual outfit. This is what you wore to a party. Like, it's always funny to me when I see pictures. Yes, you're absolutely right, Olivia. Anything is better than the Speedo. I almost think being naked at the beach would be better than the Speedo because the Speedos are scary. They just are, right? I mean, they are. Let's be honest, right? And then we had some 1970s quick sew. We only had the one pattern. It's the only one that survived. And yeah, just, stretch. Even this one you can see how bitten up it is. The other one had really been in a fight and lost. Poor guy. Had to get rid of him. All right. And then we get into, I'm not sure how to phrase it. Have you ever thought to yourself, when did men stop dressing so nice? I'm pretty sure it's right here. You are here. Yeah. This is, wow. Where to start, right? Okay. I'm not sure what this is all about. Like, I want to wear a suit to the office, but I also want to be casual and approachable. I'll just wear a sleeveless jacket because it's not even a vest at this point. It's a double-breasted sleeveless jacket, right? And this guy wants to show you his etchings. He'd like you to come up and listen to some bossa nova and look at his etchings. Yeah, right? Oh, and then there's also this guy. The guy with the mustache. Don't get in a car with him. Ever. And these, I don't know if these are shorts or swim trunks or what. This is, this is just super casual. Just doing the casual thing. And, oh yeah. And then we have this. Does anybody else remember the really shiny polyester that used to be, it wasn't just men's shirts. It was like everybody's shirts were that really shiny polyester. This is a shiny shirt. That's a shiny shirt. A little more dapper, but we're still in the casual vein here. No. The casual pimp look. Exactly. And then there's stuff like this, which the funny thing is there's a reissue of this as a Mimi G pattern. So obviously it's not a Mimi G pattern because here it is, but the reissue, I actually have the reissue too, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Oh, and then there's this. Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, it comes with the applique for the star. In case you were wondering, hey, I'd like to make that shirt for my husband, this one. But I want the star. It comes with it. And then we have the leisure suit. For you youngins out there who didn't live through the 70s, at some point in time, I don't know if there was a revolution we never heard about or what happened, but men decided, I want a suit, but I want to be more casual. And I'd like it to be made out of double knit polyester so I can also sweat while being really, really casual. And the leisure suit was born. And I'm not kidding you when I tell you, everybody's dad had this suit. Like everybody's mom went out and went, honey, I went out and I bought you a baby blue leisure suit. And yeah, how many? Raise your hand if your dad had the baby blue one. There was also like a medium blue. There was a weird chocolatey brown. I remember some green ones. But yeah, the leisure suit. And then apparently in the 80s, we all came to our senses and we started to dress like this again. So this is pretty nice. It's a vest. It also has this kind of like rugged vest down here. I was very happy to find what I can only call rugged patterns, like hunting stuff, cargo shorts, stuff like that. We'll see them in a minute. Henry Grinnell. Yeah, here's what I mean. We're starting to get into the more like rugged, almost like outdoorsman stuff, I guess would be the right. And I found two of these, two connoisseur patterns. So this one is for the trousers. And there are no line drawings on the back. So this one's for the trousers. Remember I found that connoisseur's pattern for manly, very manly. Yeah, much more manly than the 70s. Again, no line drawing on this. And this one is for the jacket. And again, never heard of connoisseur patterns until I found these. So, Henry Grinnell or Grethel, don't remember him either. A lot of these designers I don't remember, and I wonder if they're like actual real designers or they were like made up designers for the sake of putting someone's name on something. Not sure. All right, so I'll take these out of the bags for you guys. More vests. Very wedding attire or waiter, one of the two. You're a waiter at the wedding or you're actually the bridegroom. Yeah. Then we start seeing this. Lots of stretch knits start to come in. Pretty much all of these were late 70s. These are all like 79, 78, 80. All of these next patterns, All right, cue the music, Let's get physical. There we go. And it's interesting. Modern sweats don't have the cuff thing on the bottom, right? They don't have that whole attached to your ankle kind of thing that the old things do. There's another one. Okay. He looks like he dresses at Hot Dog on a Stick. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Hot Dog on a Stick, it's a chain. Mostly, I've seen them mostly in California and Nevada area. And they make their employees wear the ugliest polyester yellow and red uniforms with a truly embarrassing hat. And as soon as I saw that, all I could think is he works for Hot Dog on a Stick. Oh, so here's what I'm talking about when I talk about like hunting. Oh, and this poor pattern. Let's look at this. Okay. Can you see that? It's even worse back here. Something chewed on that. And, I'll show you the line drawings while we're back here. So yeah, so it's basically hunting gear. And I looked this up, and I actually had this pattern before, but I had it under the newer number, which was 9583. But yeah, so she was making hunting clothes, and see this? It reminds me of, remember I was talking about the bridal gowns last week. It's not the size of the pattern. There's so many pieces that you just have, the tissue is so thick. And then talk about manly Olivia. How manly these guys are. And again, lost a fight. Yeah, I want to see the other guy. Oh, and look at this. Soup's manly. Ooh, those manly vests. But she had a lot of this. And remember, we had a lot of rodeo stuff too. So I'm thinking her kids, her sons, her, grandchildren, her husband must have also been hunters for her to be doing this stuff. All right, so we're about to enter the unisex portion of our show. And like I said, some of the stuff, yeah, I don't know that I would call this unisex. Like, okay, so here's an example. You see, you got two guys wearing them and two women wearing them. It's basically a barn jacket. Oh, and this is Nicole. So there's no line drawings again because they're stingy with the line drawings. I just can't imagine too many men wearing this, but maybe, who knows? Oh, and here's one. This isn't actually unisex. This is definitely more. And again, with these like outdoorsy vest, utility vest patterns with pockets for your shells for your gun or your fly fishing. So, I don't know. Basic men's wardrobe. Shorts, pants, vest. It's from the 90s. That's why it has a vest. We loved vests in the 90s. I don't know why, but we did. All right. So now we're getting into the kind of truly unisex. The only thing I can think of is some of you may have family members. I didn't, but I knew people that have family members where the husbands and wives would dress alike. Again, something else you never actually see anymore, but there was a time when, you would make yourself this shirt and you'd make your husband one to match, just like these two. It was a thing. Their love was strong. Your love's got to be strong to dress like your wife. And then there was this this actually turned out to be a woman's pattern. If you look at those, look at that over there. But, whatever. I'm not going to discriminate. You could definitely, it was designed as a unisex pattern, but it was sized for a woman's size 12, which is a bust 30. So, and they call it a Mrs. pattern. Speaking of weird stuff, this pattern they actually have the word teen boy on the front. It is for the jeans. They're jeans. They call them pants, but they're jeans. And it comes with the bag. Here's the line drawings. I mean, there they are. They're jeans, right? They're a size 20, which is a waist 30. I guess if you're a really skinny guy. Oh, and then there's this. So this is another one that really is a Mrs. pattern, but I put it in the unisex and men's category. And it comes with the backpack. See, there you go. Shows you how to make the backpack or the purse thing, which is kind of cool. I guess that is what we call, that's what they used to call a rucksack. Remember rucksacks? And then we have, this poor thing. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to, can you see this? The bugs attacked this pattern, this poor pattern. This is actually sized for a man or boy, whatever. But yeah, it really, I don't know if you can even see like up here. They really went to town on this, but it happens. And then just like that, we're in the 90s. And yeah, fleece everywhere. Fleece and stretch knit as far as the eye can see. Oh, and this, okay. Talk about set your way back machine. All right. When I looked at the line drawings, I realized that this is like a duster coat. those pants, I don't know what to say about those pants. They kind of remind me of the Zumba pants, but they're not really Zumba pants because they're not elastic waist, I don't think. But does anybody else remember when the whole world went through its Australian phase in the 90s, right around the time Crocodile Dundee came out, and all of a sudden everything Australian was suddenly like a thing? Remember? Does anybody else remember this, right? In fact, I remember when Banana Republic actually sold stuff like cargo pants and cargo shorts and cargo skirts and just cargo everything. As far as the eye could see, it was all cargo, cargo, cargo. So I think that's what that pattern is from, that kind of era. It's the only thing I can think of because it's a strange pattern. I thought it was a trench coat, but it wasn't. When I looked at it, I really saw the lines, and it was more of what they used to call like a duster, for when you were driving a stagecoach, which, I very often find myself needing garments to drive a stagecoach. But anyway, so that was it for this week. So here's the plan. Next week, I'm going to finish out all the uncut Butterick. That does not include the See and Sew, which will take me probably a month to get through. They're going to fill an entire drawer of these cabinets. The other Butterick hasn't even filled the first drawer. That See and Sew is going to fill this entire other drawer that I have. So we'll have to see how that spaces out. After that, I'm going to try and get through most of the McCalls. The McCalls might be like 2 sessions. Maybe I'll break it into 80s and 90s McCalls because it's a lot. But she does have a lot of 90s McCalls, so we'll see. After that, it's all simplicity. She really likes simplicity. Uncut patterns, simplicity. Cut patterns, simplicity. She really likes simplicity. So simplicity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start breaking them up by decade. So we'll do 60s first, 70s, 80s. We'll just do that. And I'll just do them as like episodic because, she really, really loved her some simplicity. But that's it for this week. My throat is very dry. So until next week, thank you for coming by. Thank you for all the comments. It's lovely to see all of you. I hope that where you are, it's nice. Here in New Jersey, it's been a very odd week. We went from really hot days, like it was 86, really 90 on Friday. And then Saturday, I woke up and it was chillier. And then it rained. And I woke up this morning, it was much chillier. So we've had a very odd week. I don't know why my arthritis is killing me. The only thing I can think of is that the humidity is getting me. And until next time, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think of this, the casual pimp style of the early 70s. And I hope wherever you are, you're doing well and stay well. And I will see you next week.